6:30 a.m. I just got up. I went up to the lobby area and asked them for coffee. They said it'd be a minute, so I came back down and got my camera. I wasn't really gonna vlog, but this is the view I came out to this morning. Anyway, pretty sure the power is out or something because none of the lights are working. The Wi-Fi's off. I got no cell service, which is fine with me, but none of my clothes are dried. So all I have is wet clothes, which is why I'm wearing my rain jacket. It's the only dry thing I have. I had to get out of bed this morning and throw on these wet shorts because all my everything but one set of clothes are being washed right now. What's up, folks? Holy cow, it's bright out here. It's 9:30 a.m. now. I just spent the last couple hours writing and checking Instagram, posting to Instagram, drinking coffee, all that good stuff. And so what I wanted to do is just read you what I wrote so that I have it on video as well. Okay, Wednesday, August 2nd, 2017, 6:44 a.m. It seems the only time I can write is the morning because I'm so exhausted by the time I get back to the inn. I was able to catch the van to Bomod-ok, but by 9 a.m. only 4 passengers were on board. They need 10 to make it worth the trip. They were going to cancel the van and tell us to wait for a bus at noon. I've got limited time here and I don't plan on spending it waiting around, so I asked how much for them to go anyway. After some rough calculations, they told me 1,050 pesos, which is like 20 bucks, 21 bucks. I said, deal, let's go. The trip normally is 150 pesos or $3 per person. Don was there and helped get the deal done. The ride was beautiful. I was well rested. I just had a great breakfast of Filipino sausage, fried eggs, and something called hash browns. It was quite different from what I call hash browns, but it was delicious. And I put down a bunch of coffee. So the ride was great. We passed through many parts of the Cordillera and saw lots of mountains and villages. We got to Bomod-ok and I had to transfer to a jeepney to get to Sagada. The jeepney was packed and I was squished on both sides by people. I was the only foreigner on it. A guy named Jerry asked if I had accommodation in Sagada, and of course I said no. He says his aunt runs Treasure Rock Inn and it's 250 pesos per night and they have Wi-Fi and showers. 250 pesos is about 5 bucks. I got off the jeepney and came and checked out the inn and it seemed great. It has a beautiful view off a common deck area, which is where I'm sitting now, and this is the view. Pretty amazing view. I said, sure. And he sold me on it by saying it's in Lonely Planet. Asked if I had Lonely Planet. Yes, I do. It's in there. I can't believe this place is 5 bucks per night. Full meals are $2 or $3. I'm sitting here thinking how long I could survive here with $10,000 or $15,000. A long time. I do enjoy having my own private bathroom, though. The difference between the $70 hotel in Baguio and this $5 inn in Sagada is nowhere close to a $65 difference. Anyway, I got checked in, handed all my dirty clothes to Jerry's wife to launder, and put on my last and only set of clean clothes, which is why I'm now wearing this, because I have no dry shirt at all. The shirt I wore yesterday is still soaking wet, so I'm gonna have to go buy a t-shirt or something. I'm walking through Sagada looking for a place to eat lunch, and I come across a group of French college students. We chat for a while and they recommend Yogurt House or something. I've just switched from past tense to present tense for no reason. I'm not going to go back and change the rest to present tense. I go into Yogurt House, or Yogurt House. It's spelled Yogurt, but it's Yogurt House. Order a Mexican sub on a baguette. It's pork and cheese and vegetables and it's delicious. They have pictures hanging all around of Filipinos from many years ago. They're black and white. They show Filipinos in headdresses and performing various ceremonies. It says no pictures of the photos. It doesn't say no videos, so I took a little video. That's called being compliant with the rule of law, but not the spirit of the law. In my experience, arguing something goes against the spirit of the law doesn't get you very far unless you're a little guy going against a large corporation. Anyway, the sub was good. There's a local ordinance here that requires a guide on all trips, so I walk to the tourist office and hire a guide to Sumoging Cave. The other caves are closed because of the recent rain and the potential for more rain. People have died in the caves when they are down and then when the rain comes. The caves slowly fill with water. I've always thought being stuck somewhere with slowly rising water would be the worst way to die, so I'm fine with them closing the caves. After I see what the cave that's open is like, I'm even more confident I don't want to do the others. It's incredibly dangerous. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared a little. Anyway, my guide and I walked to Sumagun Cave. The weather is beautiful, it's not raining at all. Tourist office had to get on a motorbike and drive to find a guide. The town seems dead for the number of hostels and inns. Several tourist offices are completely empty. The joys of rainy season. On the hike, my guide tells me he's a former headhunter. I'm pretty sure he's joking, but there are former headhunters here. In the past, men had to go to take someone's head off and kill them under various circumstances, for example, if a family member was killed. The weird thing is that the headhunter doesn't have to kill someone responsible for the family member's death, but just anyone. This obviously creates a situation where men are constantly headhunting because there's no end. I offer up that doesn't seem just or fair to me, but their understanding of justice can be different than mine, and that's fine. The guide agrees, though, that it doesn't seem right and says after education came the practice stops. This region was never conquered by the Spanish. I sense some pride in that, and Lonely Planet puts it like this. The Spanish conquered the mighty Aztec of Mexico and the mighty Inca Empire of South America, but they never conquered the Cordillera, which is where I'm at now. It's easy to see why. These mountains are incredibly steep and covered in thick jungle. Many places are only accessible by trekking through treacherous paths. The Americans brought education here in the early 1900s, but until then they lived indigenous lives undisturbed. They have hanging coffins here. My guide points some out on the walk to the cave. The coffins are hanging on the side of a cliff for two reasons. The people believe in an afterlife and it's easier for the soul to go up if the body's not underground. And second, it protects the graves from being disturbed. The Americans taught them the practice isn't sanitary because of the open way of preparing the coffins, and the practice lessened but still occurs. Only the rich can apparently afford it now. The last hanging coffin was placed in 2010. According to my guide, it was wild to see the coffins hanging from a cliff. We get to the cave and the entrance is surrounded by dripping water and bright green ferns and other plants. The guide turns on the gas-powered lantern. We start down. The trek down is very dangerous. The rocks are slippery. There aren't good steps. It's dark, and eventually there's running water. We have to remove our shoes to walk through the underground river. And we walk down this underground river down very steep rocks with several inches of water rushing past our feet. It's sketchy as anything I've ever done. There are deep pools of water below. I've got thousands of dollars of cameras in my backpack. One slip and I'd be in a deep pool of water. It's beautiful though. The guide puts the lantern down in the rushing water and I look at the lantern and the water splitting around it as it rushes past and I'm in awe. I'm reminded of regulations in the United States and something called common law negligence. This type of thing would never exist in the US. The liability is sky high. I think of the Lewis and Clark Caverns in Montana, so tame by comparison. The guide snaps a few pictures using my phone and says let's head back up in case it's raining. He says if we are down here when it starts raining hard, the water flow will become stronger and more dangerous. I readily agree. We hike out, climbing up a ladder made of tires that have been tied together. We get to the top and it's raining. The guide says we are lucky. Deep down I think he just didn't want to go deeper into the cave because he wanted to cut it short. But I'm also not stupid, so I'm fine with not going all the way down. I'm pretty stupid when it comes to things like this, but not so stupid as to say to the guide, nah, I don't care if you think we should go for safety reasons, I want to go deeper. At the top we rest under a roof and the guide asks if I want to trek to a waterfall. I say absolutely. The trek turns out to be way longer and harder than I anticipated, but well worth it. We hike through rice terraces, small villages, people work in the fields, and see fields of tomatoes, eggplant, purple cabbage, green peppers, and of course rice. It's stunning. It's just me and the guide out here and a few locals working the fields by hand. I used to be a lot more shocked to see people working fields by hand in 2017, and I still am, but I've seen it a lot now. It looks like back-breaking work. Some of the rice terraces have a cow in them. It's exactly what you're picturing. We can see the valley below and the mist-shrouded mountains above. It's quiet. Some of the rice fields here haven't been harvested yet and are bright green. They're beautiful. The whole scene is beautiful. My phone says I hiked over 10 miles yesterday. My legs are so sore right now. Those were not easy miles either. Hiking through the fields involves balancing on small walls of dirt, nearly bushwhacking in parts, and avoiding water everywhere. The guide is wearing flip-flops, balancing perfectly and not breathing hard. It's fairly impressive. Once we leave the fields and terraces and enter the last part of the trek to the waterfall, we're surrounded by jungle. The guide steps over a snake on the path and I spot it and exclaim, "Snake." It's small. We watch it for a bit and then it slithers away. It's the first wildlife I've seen other than birds. I'm now curious about the status of wildlife here and plan to research it more. There certainly seems to be plenty of undisturbed jungle for animals to live in. I'm guessing all the animals are just really hard to ever spot because of the wall of jungle. At this point, I'm reminded of how far we are from medical attention. I think of what would happen if I slipped and broke a leg or got bit by a snake. It would not be good. It's a risk you have to take. I doubt they have a helicopter nearby to come get me. I'm guessing if I got bit by a snake, I would die, and if I broke a leg, I'd be in pain without medical attention for many hours. We trek on. When we get to the waterfalls, it's all worth it. We're the only ones here. There's not a person around. We have this beautiful tropical waterfall completely to ourselves. I'm hot and sweaty, so I strip down to my underwear and hop in, but of course not before setting up my GH4 to take slow motion video and handing my iPhone to the guide to take pictures. The water is cold, but so refreshing. The pool is not deep, but it's deep enough to submerge myself. I love every minute of the swim. There are large waterfalls we can see above, but then there's another small waterfall where I swim. I go up to the waterfall and stand in it. It's a natural massage. I sit there for a few minutes letting the water beat down on my back. Then I swim away, find a place to sit facing the waterfall and just sit there and enjoy it. I could spend all my time here vlogging, taking slow motion video, taking time lapses, and taking pictures, but I make a point to just sit in the water and look up at the waterfalls and contemplate the situation. It's actually a water true now because we made it. The guide says it's water false when you're trekking, but it's water true when you arrive. He's full of jokes. After that, I got out and sit some more at the edge of the water. I mentioned how there's nobody here, and yet it's a stunningly beautiful location, and yet in Manila there are millions of people, but it's not pretty, it's noisy and crowded and dirty. It's just something to think about and talk about. We eventually get up and leave. The trek out is a different route. We pass through more fields and terraces being worked by hand by people. We eventually get to a road in a village, and my guide says it's his village. I tell him I'll pay for a ride back to Sagada because I'm done trekking. He says okay and arranges a ride. I sit on the edge of the road, and across the street men are playing volleyball. Soon I'm surrounded by 20 or 30 small children. They're laughing and staring at me. They speak very little English, but enough to say, "Why are you here?" and "Happy birthday." I tell them I'm here to see them and the waterfall, but I don't think they understand it. I sit there surrounded by them for 15 or 20 minutes. They whisper in each other's ears. One little girl runs up and touches me and then runs away, laughing with everyone else. I know this place gets tourists, but apparently not enough, and my presence is nothing. It's kind of a neat experience. I notice these kids are happy and having fun and playing games and getting along. Some of the boys are wrestling. Alright, I figured I would just finish this in here. I just put a new battery in. I think of the American kids I've seen of the same age that are glued to their iPads and iPhones. I sit there revolted at the idea of kids being addicted to electronics. I'm lucky I grew up without that. The driver eventually fires up the jeepney and we're off. I get back to the Treasure Rock Inn, take a shower, then order some chicken and beans and potatoes and rice. It's delicious and I eat all of it. I'm in bed by 7 or 8 p.m. It's now 8:15 a.m. I've been writing for an hour and a half with some minor interruptions. I've had 5 cups of coffee. The power has been out all morning, but it just came back on. I'm gonna go grab breakfast, do another trek, do another waterfall, and another tour of some more hanging coffins. The end. So that's what I just wrote. I posted that on Instagram beneath some pictures. So it wasn't quite true because now it's almost 10 a.m. and I'm still here. But now I am about to go out and go trekking and try to find this other waterfall. So that's what we're off to. Alright, I just ordered pork adobo here at Sagada Happy House. Came recommended by people at Treasure Rock Inn. And I don't know if it's that I'm so hungry or if it's just that I'm on day 4 and 5 now, but I am feeling a little sad and lonely right now. This is probably the one time I'm going to feel sad and lonely this entire trip. And it happens every time I solo travel. It's minor, it'll last probably another couple hours and then I'm going to be over it. It's still well worth it, but you know, I wanted to be honest with everybody here, so I am feeling a little bit sad and lonely right now. But I mean, this whole place is like empty. I'm literally the only person in here, but this food looks really good and I'm starving. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna walk up, try to buy a t-shirt, talk to Jerry, hop a jeepney to Bangaan, and then get a guide to Bomod-ok waterfall. And then by then I'm sure I'm gonna be feeling good and great. So alright, I walked a little further up the street and I stopped here at Sagada Brew, which is that. Sagada brew, and then I ordered this chocolate cake, and then some little like chocolate cookie things. So, and this chocolate cake is so good. Really good. Alright, I've been chilling for the last couple hours just waiting for the rain to stop. It's not stopping. So I just walked out through the rain and I'm now on a jeepney going to Bangaan, something like that, and then going to Bomod-ok waterfalls. Alright, I've got the G7X out in the rain, again risking it for the biscuit. But we're hiking down to Bomod-ok. What's your name again? Mary Beth. Mary Beth is my guide. Look at this view. It's absolutely stunning. You can actually see the waterfall that we're going to right there. And we're gonna have to hike through that little village. And if you look over here, it's like foggy and rainy. But there's also like waterfalls that you can see. Like one right there that's too difficult to get to. There's also one right there. So, yeah. This is where I came from. So, I'm going to turn this off so it doesn't get too wet, but figured I'd do a quick vlog.
This is what we call the Tapay. This is the meeting place of the elders here.
Meeting place of the elders, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, before we plant rice, they do rituals here.
Really?
Yeah. Then after we harvest, they do again for Thanksgiving.
Cool. Okay, this small house right here is for rice storage for the village. So, we're still cruising and that's the rice storage house and it is still raining. But not as bad, not bad. Check out this view. Alright, I had to share this. A little kid, not little, 12-year-old, 15-year-old, something like that, just came walking by me on this path, and he's holding his phone in his hand, and he's got it turned all the way up, and he's playing American country music. It's crazy. By the way, check out this little village up there. The little village, you can see a bunch of houses up there. Check this out, it's kind of weird, but they have all of these like pipes strung across this valley. Apparently it's going to feed the drinking water to this village over there. They've got a big cistern. Apparently just the power of the water comes and then, but there's like cracks in them, you see it like spraying out. Anyways, I think we're almost there. You can see the river down there. Pretty well maintained trail. I saw on the concrete written back there 2009. So I think this concrete and stuff was put in 2009, which makes sense because I asked my guide yesterday how old that concrete was and he said about 10 years. So, pretty crazy that this kind of, oh wow, look at that. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. But kind of crazy that this has only been like this for, 10 years or less. This isn't like visiting it in the early 1900s, but it's also not like visiting it in 20 years. Oh my goodness, there she blows, I believe. Time to go swimming, even though I'm wet and cold and the water's freezing.
No matter how you talk with me.
gonna risk it really quick to do a quick vlog. As you can see, I'm here at the waterfall. I walked up there. I can't go swimming because it's way too much water, and I went up there and it's freezing cold, and it's just not gonna happen. We're in the rainy season, but it's a beautiful waterfall. I did get some pictures, I got some slow motion, and I just got this quick vlog. I'm turning it off because it's raining, but check that out behind me. It's beautiful here. Alright, we're about halfway up, maybe. I'm dying here, but it's no longer raining, so that's a good thing.
1/4 more.
What's that?
1/4 more.
1/4 more?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know what those red flowers are called?
Kala.
Kala?
Yes. And you? What do you call that?
Maybe orchid?
Okay, no.
Yeah? I don't know. There's little fish in here.
There's a fish.
Yeah. All right, I drank the water. That's good water.
Yeah.
Thank you. And yeah, there's little fish in there too, which is cool. All right, I made it all the way up to the top. I'm just sitting here. I left at 12:30. I got back at 3:30, so that whole thing took me 3 hours apparently. And they say there is a jeepney going at 4:30, so I might just hang out here with my new friends, all these folks.
Hello.
Say hi. And then maybe at 4:30 I go, or there's maybe a private vehicle I'll try to catch. Okay, so I am sitting here in Lemon Pie House, which is a restaurant just walking distance of Treasure Rock Inn. I don't know what the last vlog I did, but I'll assume I was up at that like tour guide stand right before going to Bomod-ok Falls. Basically, the only thing that's really happened is I hopped on a jeepney pretty shortly thereafter. I did not have to wait a full hour. I think maybe it was a half hour. Hopped the jeepney, came back down to the town, to Sagada, went back to Treasure Rock Inn, got some clean and dry clothes from the lady there that was doing my laundry, which was really nice. I took a hot shower, not hot, warm shower, got into some warm, clean, dry clothes, felt really, really good, and then did some writing, which I'll read you the writing here in a second. But I also ended up, after I did the writing and posted a couple of pictures to Instagram with those writings, then I sat down and talked to Aunt Mary, who's like the lady that owns, I guess, Treasure Rock Inn. Turns out she actually works in Macau, in China, as at a school or something like that, and she's worked in Macau since 1988, everything from a domestic help, I guess, to hotel, and then all these other jobs. And so she's just back here, I guess, to get dental care, because the dental care here is higher quality and cheaper than in Macau. And then so she picked some fresh lemongrass and had some ginger and made like a lemongrass and a ginger tea, which was, and then I just sat there and drank that and wrote and then talked, and then ended up talking to her for a really long time. Had a really cool conversation with her, learned a whole bunch about a Filipino or a Filipina going to work in Macau and then coming back and stuff, and so that was really, really cool. I was feeling down earlier. I think I probably said that in the vlog, but like it's totally gone away now. I'm like in such a good mood now. I don't know what it was, maybe just hanging out, drinking that lemongrass and ginger tea or something like that, but it was like really, really, really good. I feel super great now. And so hung out with her for maybe an hour, chit-chatting, and then figured I'd come get dinner. Maybe I didn't get that great of sleep last night. I didn't really feel like I slept well. It was really cool just sitting there drinking this lemongrass tea with Aunt Mary. It was really, really cool. Let me quick read to you what I wrote earlier. Wednesday, August 2nd, 2017, 5:39 p.m. is when I wrote this. By the way, it is now 7:19 p.m. Pitch dark out. This is what I wrote. It happened. I got lonely and sad. As soon as I got done writing this morning and posting it in and pictures, it hit me. I knew it was coming. It happens every time. If you can solo backpack Asia for a week or two and never once have a moment of sadness or loneliness, I think there must be something wrong. I'm not trying to post or vlog about only the highlights and only the good times. I want to be real. It honestly makes no rational sense. I think about my mom and my dad, my brother and my sister, friends, Montana home, and there's zero reason for me to feel that way. But every time I travel solo, it happens. It's worth it though. It's in those moments I grow the most. The first time it happened, I was in college in Costa Rica by myself, and it was so bad I tried to switch my flight to come home earlier. It was too expensive though, and I'm so glad I didn't because the rest of the trip was amazing. I've experienced it enough now to know that it is fleeting and only happens once a trip. I'm over it now, and it's all downhill from here. But it turned make my morning slow. I don't know what that means. I didn't leave Treasure Rock Inn until late morning. I stopped at a restaurant on the walk in at the center of Sagada and had pork adobo. It was good. It was raining this morning, so I stopped at Sagada Brew and had a chocolate cake. It was really good. I sat in there for a long time, just staring out at the street and the rain pouring down and the splatters on the street and the mini river that had formed on the side of the street. I watched trucks go past. One stopped and bought a bottle of wine from Sagada Brew. I got a bunch of slow motion of the rain and everything. It finally calmed down, but not completely. I got up and walked up to the Tourist Information Center and inquired about Bomod-ok waterfalls. It means big waterfall. They point me to a jeepney close by and I go board. It's a 20-minute ride to the start of the trek. There's a little stand there with a few people and I pay the P500 or $10 for the guide. The trek is beautiful and goes through another barangay that is only accessible via trekking. It's called Barangay Fedilasan. I had the guide spell that out for me. It's all downhill to the waterfall and we make it down to the village and through more fields and terraces and to the water true pretty quickly. The rains have made the river swell and the water true is going strong. The guide says good luck swimming and I make a valiant attempt. I walk up to the base of it and see a pool that is overflowing, mostly subject to the waterfall. The water coming off the waterfall is so strong and so much that I'm drenched within seconds. I'm literally soaking wet. I had purchased a t-shirt in the morning because I lacked a dry shirt. It's now soaked. The wind is strong. Swimming is just not going to happen. Plus it's not that hot out, it's raining and the water is freezing. We hang out for a bit. I risk my cameras to get video. My G7X already has a water spot on the inside of the lens and it's causing a spot on the video. Not right now though. I'm pretty bummed about that, but I get some video and I get some pictures and I get some time to take it all in and we are off. The hike out is all uphill. We stop on the way up and I see a small bit of water coming from the hillside out of this sanctuary-like cove. I point and say, that looks nice. Mary Beth says, yes, that is drinking water. Apparently the villagers drink from the river water and also little springs like this. I'm not one to pass up an opportunity to drink fresh water. I bust out the G7X, hit record, hand it to Mary Beth and grab my plastic water bottle. The water is fresh and delicious. It's not cold like the tap water in Montana can be. I'd say it's a similar temperature to the coldest tap water in Miami, which is not cold, but it's good. We finished the hike and get back to the top at 3:30. We had left at 12:30, so the whole trip took 3 hours. They say I have to wait for a jeepney to come, so I sit and talk to the 3 ladies working the guide station. Oh yeah, I had to pay 10 pesos to the village we walked through. A jeepney comes and I ride it back to Sagada for 20 pesos. I'm freezing because it's raining and chilly and I'm wearing soaking wet clothes. I get back to the inn and get my laundered clothes, take a shower, and throw on the blue pants, Wichita State t-shirt, and a hoodie. I feel great. I come out to the balcony area, which is where I'm sitting now. A lady that works here cuts some fresh lemongrass that is growing nearby. My guide yesterday picked some lemongrass and gave it to me, and it's really amazing stuff. The lady here says she's going to make lemongrass and ginger tea and asks if I want some. Is that a real question? Of course I want some. She makes it and brings it to me, and I've been sipping this hot lemongrass ginger tea the entire time I've been writing this. I feel great now. I had planned to go to Echo Valley today, but it's not happening. I'm going to finish this tea and relax the rest of the night. I have like 5 or 6 more days here and no plans. I could stay here tomorrow or go further north. I need to decide what I'm going to do. So that's what I wrote. Hope you guys like that little writing there. Now I'm in here in this restaurant. I just ordered myself some fried chicken. Really looking forward to that. And like I said, after I finished writing that, I ended up having a really cool conversation for like an hour with Aunt Mary. Learned a whole bunch about Macau and the Filipino life, so it's all good. I'm in a great mood now, super happy. I'm gonna eat this chicken, go back to the hotel maybe, or go back to the inn, maybe flip on CNN for a little bit. catch up on the news, and then go to bed. Oh, I need to talk to Jerry, who's like a guy that works there too. I need to talk to Jerry about where I should go tomorrow. I think I want to go to Tabuk, which is in Kabayan or Kalinga province, another province close by, which is where more of like the headhunters are, the traditional tattooing and like that whole 9 yards. So I did want to see that, and I do want to go to vegan, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. So that's that. That's the update. I'll keep you posted with this food. Okay, and this is mountain tea, and there's a local leaf in it. That's all I know about it. I'll try it and let you know how it is. Here's the fried chicken, rice, cucumbers, tomatoes. Looks delicious.